wanted to jump on today because I had a message from Sarah who was really confused because her child is very good at reading, but they don't do so brilliantly in their tests, their reading test, and she wanted to know why. And I thought rather than just me reply to her herself, I thought I would also make a video so that you could benefit from it too, because I think this is a problem a lot of parents have, and this might clear up some confusion. So what I suspect is happening is her child is very good at what we call mechanical reading. Now there's two types of reading. There's mechanical reading and there's reading for meaning. Now, mechanical reading is the type of reading that you do when you're using your phonics, when you're using your keywords, when you're using your tricky words. So, for example, if I was to pick up a book and I started just reading the words, so the cat sat on a mat, for example, I could just read the words mechanically because I knew what the keywords were. I could sound out the words using phonics, and that would give the impression that I could read. And that is something that I see a lot in school where children are able to just pick up a book and they are able to read the words and they focus so much on getting the words right, they're not actually looking at how to get the meaning out of the words, if that makes sense. So it's a bit like me picking up a Spanish book or a French book, and I could you work out what the word said and I could possibly read it, and if I put on a French accent or a Spanish accent I might sound like I read really well, but my French and my Spanish is not great, okay? I haven't done it since I was in school. So for me to then be able to tell you the meaning of what I read, that's something completely different. I wouldn't be able to do that. Mechanically, I could read the words on the page, but I wouldn't be able to tell you what the words meant, if that makes sense. And that is a problem that a lot of children have. They can read the words beautifully on a page. They can see that there's speech marks there and then put on a character voice because they know a character is saying the words. They can stop at the full stops. They can pause at the commas. They know how to do the things that need to be done in order to sound like they can read well. But actually understanding what they've read, that's a completely different ballgame. That takes a lot more brain power, that takes a lot more skill, and a lot of children fall over on that second part of reading, which a lot of parents aren't aware of. Now, to overcome Sarah's problem, she would have to not only listen to her child read, because she does that, she listens to them read regularly, but what she's missed is she hasn't been asking her child questions about what they've read to then check and see if what they've read they've actually understood. So that's where things have gone a bit wrong. So what you might want to do, if your child reads well and you're confident that your child reads well, double check that they've actually understood what they've read, because that is the point of reading. It's getting the information out of the text so that you can then answer the questions. And the reason we have reading tests is to check that children actually understand what they've read. So they'll read a piece of text in a reading test, and then they will have to answer the questions in the reading test, which asks them about what they've read, and then they get the marks for answering the questions correctly. So you can prompt them when they've read to you and ask them questions yourself. You know, what happened to the character? How did the character feel? What happened next? Even ask them predictive questions like, what do you think would have happened if this had happened? those types of things, and get them to think about what's actually happening in the story. And by doing that, you can then help them not only read, but also help them understand what they're reading. So I hope you found that useful, and I'll answer another question on another video. Okay, see you later. Bye.